slippy guy. Do you have slides?
Yes, they're
Yeah,
coming up
perfect.
in a second. And I'll just grab that and pass it over.
Oh.
I think so, yeah.
Oh, so I don't need this?
No, you need this.
No, this. Thank you. Is that...
Is that mine?
Is that on? Yes. Thank you. And yeah, thanks very much for inviting me along to talk about the programs here. I too would just like to acknowledge the traditional people of this land that we're meeting on, the Boon Wurrung, the Narn and the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. And I must admit, just in that acknowledgement, it's also worth reflecting on that those cultures have been around for 40,000 years and they've lived with very little impact. They didn't have no impact, but they had very little impact on the environment around them. So what we're talking about today is the Solar Homes program from Solar Victoria. As mentioned, my name's Guy Pritchard. I'm the Director of Incentive Programs for Solar Victoria. I'll make sure it goes that way. So just a bit about the Solar Homes programs. We've the Victorian government has invested about $1.3 billion in that transition to affordable and clean energy. The program is a 10-year program, and we're about 4 years into that program now. And it's to look at providing rebates to accelerate the transition in the uptake of renewable energies and into energy efficient products. I'll just go through some of the core programs there. So eligible owner-occupier households can apply for $1,400 rebates to install rooftop solar systems. And there's also the ability to take another $1,400 as an interest-free loan. So that's for solar PVs. We have a $1,000 rebate available to install solar hot water or energy efficient heat pump systems. And we have rebates as well for batteries, $2,950 rebate for batteries. And that's eligible for rental providers as well. And there's also a $1,400 interest-free loan to help reduce the costs of those installations there. So the program is really pitched at trying to accelerate that transition and to accelerate the uptake of renewable energies. As I mentioned, we're 4 years into the program. We've seen over 208,000 applications and put in 1.2 gigawatts of capacity installed. So some of the achievements here, there's close to $420 million of program rebates being allocated so far over the 4 years. So again, 220,000 homes have applications approved. I suppose the key one here for people who are looking at putting in a rebate, there's an annual saving of just over $1,000 per household for residential solar for PV. So there are some real cost benefits in this, as well as helping reduce the carbon there. Flick through. Now a bit more, it's not just about installing solar panels on roofs there. The idea really is to improve energy affordability and reduce the cost of living. And we've seen $850 million in economic benefit, and that accrues each year at a rate of about $90 million. So we're also about accelerating the safety and the quality of the systems over the program. So we've worked very closely with industry and with the builders, distributors and the retailers, to actually make sure that they've got the avenue, if they can, to build that industry. As I mentioned, we're accelerating that transition, which is helping to reduce carbon, and more than 1.2 gigawatts today. And we're building that really strong, skilled solar industry with over 4,000 jobs so far involved in this program. We've been very keen to work with the regulators and work with the industry on safety standards and to ensure that the quality is kept high. So we do an audit program. You can see there that we've done 8,000 odd audits and solar installer safety audits. And part of that, we audit 5% of our programs for solar PV. and less than 1% of those come back with any issues. We're really proud to say that that is the lowest level of issues across the East Coast.
We now have our next session on the main stage and in seminar room.
Thank you. So why go solar?
Please proceed to the main stage and the seminar room for our next session. Thank you.
So why go solar? Different reasons for different people, but very many people highlight the savings that they make and their ongoing savings once they're in there. So these rebates are helping reduce the upfront costs, but you also have then the ongoing savings across the life of those panels. For some people, it's more about the environment and using natural energy. And the key really is to look at what your motivations are to do this, both environmental, but you actually also get those cost savings as well. Now, we do know that there's 40,000 new builds a year in Victoria, and we've just recently, in the end of August, opened up our solar PV rebate scheme to new builds. Previously, it was only owner-occupiers and rental providers, and you had to have the building established beforehand. But now we've opened it up for new builds. And the expansion of this is really to take into account that sort of move towards a 7-star requirement for buildings now, for new home builds. There's a real new awareness of electrification in homes. We've got the emergence of all electric estates. And more importantly, because people were asking us if we could start their journey on that solar in that new build phase, both builders, the solar retailers and the homeowners. So as of August, you can apply for that, and we're running that through now. The eligibility requirements are the same for the new builds program as they are for the existing owner-occupiers area. We have the key criteria. You'll find more on our website. The key criteria are households of $180,000 a year income and lower, and the home building has to be less than $3 million. The change to new builds, one of the key things too was you had to have proof of ownership of the house. For new builds, we're looking at also taking certificate of title, and we've worked through that process that you're able to do that at the new build stage. So what are the benefits are? You can save $1,400 on the upfront cost of your solar PV system. You're also eligible for that $1,400 no interest loan. You start saving from the minute that you move in. And as I pointed out before, the average savings are around about $1,000 per year. It does depend on the system size and how much you use. And the other benefits of doing it to the build stage is that it can be done a lot safer with the existing scaffolding in the building already up, and you get the opportunity for the retailers to come through and put in some of that solar before so they don't have to re-establish all the scaffolding and all the safety wear as well. So it's a much safer way to do it at that new build stage. So if you are building a new home and you're interested in the rebate, there's some real simple steps to follow. Check out our eligibility criteria on the Solar Victoria website. You will need to use an authorised Solar Victoria, solar installer that's been authorised, and that list is on our website. Have a look at the solar panels guide and just work through what size system is going to be best for you, and learn a bit more about those products. And we have those PV buyers guides on our website. And talk to the retailers, talk to the solar retailers. They'll be able to give you the best advice. You will need to work with your builder to gain consent and to determine when the products can come in and the best timing for installing those products. So it's going to be a conversation between you and the solar retailer and you and the builder about the best timing for that. And the builder has obviously got access to the site there, so the builder has to be involved in that conversation as well. So yeah, do your planning, understanding of the criteria and the processes, and once you're confident that you know where you're going to go, you'll need to talk to your builder as early as possible. During that planning, the building planning stage, you'll go to an authorised solar retailer and they can provide you with a written quote. And once you've accepted that quote, they will load it up into the Solar Victoria system, and then you will get an email to generate the application from your end as well. So it's all managed through the Solar Victoria portal. And as mentioned before, the list of approved retailers can be found on our website. So where can you find out more? We have a stand over on the back there, stand B8, just over the back in there. Come and talk to us in more detail about those programs and about how you can access that. You can also follow us for updates and announcements on those website links that we've got listed there too. But the easiest way for you today is to just come over and have a chat. And I think that's it for me for now. Thank you. Yes, thanks.
Thank you, Guy. Thank you so much. We'll just do that cheeky little
Take that off.
microphone exchange again.
There you go.
Thank you, my friend. That was a really, really interesting and lovely speech. My parents have got solar panels, which I find really interesting. It's good to see that they're getting more popular as well. I think there's only one problem with solar power panels, and it's the fact that we live in Melbourne. I don't know, I find that difficult. And interesting as well, you know, like a beautiful mentioning of like our Indigenous cultures that have been here for thousands and thousands of years, and you know, we get a lot more cultures coming into our country all the time, which I find absolutely wonderful. And you know, I was working at the Australian citizenship ceremony just a few weeks back, and there was a guy about 15 minutes after the ceremony itself. He came up to me and he said, "Oh, he goes, I can't stay for the rest of the show because my back is playing up." And I was like, "Mate, you've been Australian for 15 minutes and you're already pulling a sickie." One of us. I love it. I love it. We're getting through it today. It's really good. I'm glad to see you all sitting in the crowd there. The next thing that we have up for you today, and this is my first time ever experiencing something like this, we're having a live land and townhome release. I'm just going to check where our gentleman is presenting it. So the live land and townhome release is from Evoke Townhomes in South Moraine.